Not the same slurp effect as when I'm having bulletproof coffee at home, but hey ho. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this Q&A. Now I am currently sipping on a matcha latte with coconut milk. So I quit caffeine for 3.5 weeks and I'm slowly starting to reintroduce it and see whether I want it or not. Because I actually had it 3 days in a row. I had a matcha latte 3 days in a row. And I just decided like, I genuinely felt better with no caffeine than with caffeine. Like the first day it was nice. You know, you get that little bit of that caffeine high. But it was pretty steady energy. Obviously I'm having matcha rather than coffee. I do honestly do not imagine myself ever having coffee again for the rest of my life. What it does to your liver, I mean, the amount of time it takes for your liver to detoxify everything that's in coffee, and just like, it just rusts the inside of your body, honestly. But yeah, so anyway, started reintroducing matcha. First day, clean, sort of clean energy buzz. Second day, it's weird, I had a lot of energy, but it felt like very frenetic energy, like you couldn't really put it anywhere. We've all had it before. We've maybe drunk a little bit too much coffee. Savage! I'm a savage! If you ever had like an energy drink or something, you've got like this energy, but even if you tried to sit down and focus and work, you wouldn't be able to do anything with it. That was what I had on the second day. And then on the third day, it was funny. I had the coffee and I literally felt more tired after having the coffee than before. So that was last week. So this week, then I took a couple more days off, started reintroducing it again. The other thing I noticed was dairy. Now I've always, for the most part, remember never having any issues with dairy, but every single time I had the lattes, I was using regular milk, and I was definitely starting to find a bit of bloating, which was weird. And once again, it's nothing I've ever noticed in the past. Now, other thing to mention is, and I guess if you look at the amount of lactose in butter and cheese compared to milk, I mean, it's nuts. I do totally fine with butter. Like honestly, at the moment, I'm currently on around a stick a day of butter. So I'm on like 1,300 calories a day of raw butter. Luckily here in the UK, you can actually get raw milk, raw butter, etc., etc. So yeah, butter I have absolutely no issue with it at all. And I use that in conjunction with a bit of MCT, which is the only thing that I'm doing, which is not carnivore at the moment. And yeah, I do totally fine with that. Similar sort of thing with cheese at the moment. I'm steering away from cheese, but I'll have it every once in a while. And once again, no issues. But milk, I think I've come to realize that actually, although I thought previously that have no issues with lactose or milk or anything like that, I'm starting to realize that I think I probably nothing major, but just like I feel a little sluggish after, and definitely a little bit of bloating. So anyways, long story short, I am currently sipping on a matcha latte with coconut milk, and that is my drink for today. Now let's get into it. Sorry for that aggressively long intro. The other thing you'll notice is we're currently in my office. Yeah, this is kind of the barren version of my office at the moment. I love it. It's 2 floors, so it's the 3rd and 4th floor of this house. I mean, well, through there is a master bathroom. So this is actually the master bedroom, which I turned into my office, and then my 4th floor I turned into my sort of church meditation prayer area. It's like so. I don't know. It's incredible. I honestly love this place. But I'm thinking of getting just some pictures put up here of like the trip to Nepal. Influential people and people that I aspire to and look up to, and people who truth seekers and people who put their neck out on the line for what they believed in. So that explains the background for you guys, hopefully. First question is, how do you get professional product photos / videos from overseas clients? I make websites plus social media marketing for my clients, and I want to work with international clients. So here's the thing: if you're curating any sort of content for clients, so as many of you guys know, for the first 1.5 years, I get year religiously, and then after that there was a 6 month, or I'd say probably closer to 8 month period where I was doing a bit of everything with my agency. But in that first year, I was a creative agency, so I would shoot content, edit it, so curate the content and distribute it, and grow the social platforms. I could not work with clients that were abroad. Right? Sometimes I would travel to clients abroad for one-off projects, but I could not have any sort of retainer clients abroad. So I don't really know what sort of, you said you go, I make websites plus social media marketing for my clients. If you're just doing distribution and growth and websites, that's fine. You just get the client, the client should have a photographer, videographer they work with. If they don't, then you can source them one at a fair rate. And you can kind of just arrange that for them. With all of our e-commerce and info product clients, we do not shoot or create any of the contents. Occasionally, 1 or 2 times in the past, we've had e-commerce clients where they've sent us some clips, and I've just gone on the team to edit it up, spruce it up, because we can make a really cool video ad out of it. But apart from that, that honestly is a rarity. So my point to you is the client should be sending you assets. When we work with clients, we expect assets from the clients, from our info product and e-commerce clients. As an advertising agency, you should expect the same thing if you have an email marketing agency. If you have a graphic design agency, obviously you're doing the graphic work. If you have a website agency, you should expect the assets from them. If you have a social media management and growth agency, once again, you should expect the assets from them. If you have a creative agency, that's the only one where obviously you are creating the assets yourself. So you need to make sure that, they're local or, you can get to them. So hopefully that answers your question. All right. So next question is, considering you have 4 years of experience and most of your clients came in as inbound lead, how much is your closing rate? Now, you're right. I have 4 years of experience, and 4 years of sales experience has definitely helped. But you say that most of your clients came in as an inbound lead. I guess I don't know if, for the past year and a half, basically year and a half, ever since February of 2019, 80% of our clients have come in through ads. Now, I don't know if I consider that an inbound client, because technically we're the ones who are going outbound. We're going outbounds, running ads. Like the way that I categorize things is inbound, ads, and outbound, right? So inbound is obviously things like content. It's like things like referral, just having a niche personal brand where you're known and then people come to you. Ads is kind of like that layer between, where you're not technically one-on-one going out to them. They're kind of meeting you halfway. You're doing the first 50%, which obviously you're running ads, and then there's the funnel, and then they're doing the other 50%, which is they're bought in and they actually want to find out more. So it's like a stepping stone. So technically, I wouldn't say that we get most of our clients through inbound, because as I said, it's this weird mix between inbound and outbound in terms of the amount of investment that the client has going into the call. So that's just one thing to note. In terms of my closing rate, at this stage of my agency journey, where we're doing around 25 to 30 demos a month. So Danny, I will say, one admission to you guys is August was abysmal, like horrible. We only got 13, 14 demos. Apologize for the little light change here. I'm just by the window, by the way. But we only got 13, 14 demos. It was just a slow month, but I know August always is in the world of B2B. Anyways, on average, we're getting around 25 demos a month. So now Danny, from those 25 demos, initially it was a lot more. He would book in around 50% of demos. First of all, after the cancellation and show up rate, it brings it down to 80% of those. So from 20 demos, we usually actually have 20 calls. Now from those actual 20 demo calls that show up and we haven't canceled, Danny will then go ahead and book in around 40% of those with me. So usually I'm having around 8 discovery calls, which are the actual sales calls myself each month. Now, there's swings month to month. 1 month we might get 8 of those literally are, and you guys have literally seen a vlog. I'll just ping it right here, Tristan, if you can, where, I closed 5 clients in the space of 72 hours. And that's because it just so happened that all those demos that month were clients that I wanted to bring on and I was willing to bring on. So, we have periods like that. And then we have periods like August last month where I didn't sign a single client, and just no one was really a fit, to be honest. I'm not going to sign a client unless they are 100% fit. So the reason I say all this is because once someone has gone through that process, they've had a demo call with Danny thinks that they could be a good potential fit. To be entirely honest, by the time they get to the discovery call, it's not so much them, like me having to sell them on it, it's them having to sell me. My discovery calls are mainly just me doing the math in my head to figure out, do we go just base deal? Do we go base plus ROAS? Do we go a base plus ROAS, but the ROAS only kicks in at a certain point, and you guys have seen me do deals. I'll ping the video right here, which is the, boxing update, new client thing. And I break down there a deal where I do a base plus percentage of ROAS, but the percentage of ROAS only kicks in past a certain benchmark. So most of my discovery calls are just figuring out these metrics and figuring out the logistics of it. I just brought on a client yesterday for 4,800 pounds a month, which comes out to around $6,100 a month, but it's a 6-month minimum. So once again, a bit lower retainer for our agency when we compare it to the 2019 retainers, but because of the 6-month minimum, I'm totally okay with that. And I see this being a long-term client. So these are all the sort of cogs that are turning in my mind. And a lot of times these days, I'd say it's 50-50 after the demo call. So that's technically the first call. On that second call, although technically it's my first call, 50% of the time I will close that client if I close the client on that second call. And then 50% of the time I'm actually doing a third call a lot of times at the moment. So my second call, because I actually need to go away, think about the deal, and then propose it to them and think about, just do a lot more soul searching about the deal. Because this year I've been very, very, very strategic about my deals, about my minimums, about, really just undercharging myself by 25%, but being fine with that because I'm, literally was a Thursday. Tomorrow I have 2 check-in calls that, to be honest, most of the time I don't go to client check-in calls, but these 2 I need to go to because we're either going to have to increase the retainer with these clients or we're going to have to do another 6-month extension. So I'm going to tell the clients, look, it has been, we were getting them incredible results, and, the amount that we're making them warrants our retainer being a lot higher. And I'm going to have to increase the retainer with the clients, but I'm going to tell the clients, look, to be honest, I don't want to. I would rather just continue building this long-term partnership. So one just came off the back of a 6-month minimum. So that'll bring them to an extra 6-month extension rather than the rolling month by month will mean that they're at a year. The other one is actually finishing 6 month. And then that was the first time I ever got the idea of proposing, these big 6-month extensions. And, at some point I'd love to even get to 1-year extension with clients. But so he finished 6 months. So it was 3 months and then rolling month by month for 3 months. And then I was at a point where I had to increase the retainer, but I proposed this 6-month extension instead. So then it's been 12 months from this month, and then I'm going to do another 6-month extension. So that's 18 months. That's 18 months. He will be a client guaranteed. Now, obviously we'll see what he says tomorrow, but we're going to have to double our retainer, which is fine because we're already making him circa 55, 60,000 pounds a month return on ad spend. And it's an info product client, so that's pure profit for him. So anyways, I'm kind of rambling here, I apologize. But my main point that I'm trying to get to is, for me, I don't really look at closing percentage at this stage of my agency journey, because for me, I don't ever want to I don't want to beat myself up in August, the fact that, I had 6 discovery calls and I closed none, because I don't care that I had a 0% conversion rate in August, because yes, I could have closed them, but those were not good deals for the agency. And, I have enough wisdom as an agency owner now, and I've been in this game long enough to know that these would not be good clients for me for the agency. And potentially it might even get to a point where, as you guys know, I have a guarantee at the agency. I might even have to refund these people. And little heads up, it was last month actually, was the second time ever in our agency history that I had to refund a client. We did not get client results in the first 30 days. Now, fair enough, we were basically building this client up from zero. We saw a lot of potential with them. We took a bit of a risk, built out their case study funnel, et cetera, et cetera. It didn't work out after 45 days and I had to refund them. So yeah, I definitely do not want that to happen again. And, all of those experiences teach you as an agency owner that you have to be very selective over the clients that you pick, especially if you're in my shoes and you have a guarantee, and especially if you have a reputation to maintain. So, to answer your question, well, actually, let me pull up my tracking sheet. All right, so to answer your question, I just opened up my tracking sheet for this year. It averages out to 23.3%. So 23.3% of people that come on the discovery call after they've had the demo call, I will then close. As I said, with me at this stage of this journey and the complexity at which we deal with clients, I honestly don't care about conversion rate, because I don't want to pressure myself into closing extra clients just so I bring up my conversion rate, when, as I said, I have so much at stake here because of our reputation, because of the guarantee, et cetera, et cetera. It would be different if I was selling clients, I was selling, if I was working with real estate agents or restaurants and I was doing $1,200 a month retainers, but I was doing them at volume, working with 40, 50, 60 clients, which, we have students in copy paste agency, for example, that are working with literally 100 plus clients, but they're all $1,000 a month. But because of how streamlined they are in their agency, teaching the principles that we use in copy paste agency, it's fine. They still run a very streamlined ship. But anyways, really what I'm trying to get to is just in my unique position, the way that I run my agency, the sort of clients we work with, I don't like to focus too much on my conversion rate. Whereas if I was selling more of a, I want to say almost cookie cutter, where it's pretty much any lead that comes to me is qualified. And as I said, if you're working with realtors and they're making a certain amount of money, pretty much that means that they're qualified. Whereas with us, if they're making a certain amount of money, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're qualified to work with us or that we should take them on, because of the amount of stuff that we do on the funnel building, the email automation, as well as the ad side of things. There's so much complexity that there's so much more to think about rather than just how much are they making as the barometer of can they work with us or not. So very, very long-winded, but I hope that kind of answers your question. Next question is, what are your thoughts on GYA students coming out with their own SMA coaching / courses? I can't really knock it, to be honest. Everyone has their sort of Sorry, I got a little sidetracked with this cup. But look, everyone has their area of expertise. So for example, like one thing that I just don't teach, because I have a rule. I don't teach anything that I don't do personally. That is my rule, and I will always stick by that rule. So I don't teach LinkedIn because I just don't use LinkedIn personally. So, if someone wants to learn from a agency incubator student or a copy paste agency student, fine by me. And just to be very honest, every single person I know who has a program is a Grow Your Agency student that has an SMA program. Just to be very honest, I've had my education company for 3 years now. You name anyone in the agency space, they have been through my program. And I'm talking my biggest quote unquote competitors. They learned from me, 2 years ago. That's where they started. And I've done student interviews, and I've even had people be like, oh, Jesus Christ, I didn't know that he has been learning from you for the past 3 years. And that's like 10% of the people out there who have programs. The other 90% obviously don't want to admit that they've come through my program and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I can't really knock it, because if you have a different way of teaching, or you have your different area of expertise or this, that, like at the end of the day, who cares? And it keeps me on my toes to, number one, make sure that in the agency specifically, I am always ahead of the curve. And that is why the education company is where it's at, because as I said, as far as I know, I don't know anyone who has an educational program who does bigger, well, not as far, I know for a fact, validated multiple times over, that there is not a single person out there that has an educational program that teaches SMA that does the numbers I do. As far as I know, no one even comes a third of the way there, to be honest. And as I alluded to in another Q&A, I kind of have eyes everywhere. I know everyone's numbers. So what I'm trying to get at here is I don't mind it, because everyone has their unique set of talents. And, maybe there's what, when I'm teaching my students, I'm teaching them everything from, in my programs, Facebook ads, Google ads, lead generation, sales, operations, team building, company, I'm teaching like 15 different things. And, maybe there is someone out there who is better at me with a certain thing, or has a certain, a different avenue that they go down, or, a different way that they do it. But, it keeps me on my toes for sure. So I really don't mind it. And I think at the end of the day, the market rewards the product that is the best. So, I always push to be the best. And, we spend a lot of money on research and development and making the product better. And obviously you guys know the fact that it's not normal for an education company to have, a product manager, a community manager, a coach, in fact, multiple coaches. And you guys know some of these people, Esteban, Kieran, Max, Caden, all these people are full time. It's not normal for an education company to have, IP protection and cybersecurity. It's not normal for an education company to have a full-time creative manager. It's not normal to have a full-time community manager outside of a product manager, Amara. All this stuff is very excessive, but as long as it makes my product the best it can humanly be, I am a-okay with that. So yeah, honestly, each to their own. I think everyone has unique talents and potentially unique spin that they can, teach and relay to other people. So yeah, at the end of the day, I think the more competition in the market, the better, honestly. And the more options people have, the better. And I just think people will make an educated decision after seeing everything that is out there on offer. So hopefully that makes sense. All right, so question number 3 is, what brand do you buy shoes of? So my number one go-to, if you had to give me one shoe for the rest of my life and nothing else, it would be Lanvins, which I don't know. I still to this day don't know if that's how you pronounce it. All my French friends always shout at me. They always say it's Lanvin, something like that. Lanvin. So yeah, I remember one time I said Lanvin and they butchered me. But anyways, their sneakers are I have them in 4 different colors. So I'd say either those or Golden Goose or Laura Piana Summer Walks, which is such a basic answer, but they really are the most comfortable shoes on earth. But if you had to give me one, just a pair of Lanvin sneakers, black, matte cap toe, black, and then black sole. Just give me those. I'll be happy. So I have 4 variations of those in different colors. I love them. Right now I'm wearing something a little more funky. I'm wearing these Represent. I thought these were literally the freaking coolest thing ever. I'm wearing these Represent work boots. These I think are freaking awesome. So yeah, I mix it up a little with those. And then outside of that, I'm thinking what else is in my wardrobe. At the end of the day, I don't wear brands. Anything that is timeless. That's the most important thing for me. This, for example, I don't think is going to be timeless. I don't, it's not a timeless classic, to be honest, but I thought whatever, they're funky, and I really, really fuck with them, and the quality is incredible. But those aren't going to be a timeless shoe that you can really hold your own anywhere. But my Todd's tassel loafers, or my Loro Piana summer walks, or the Capto Lanvin sneakers, those are all timeless. I mean, honestly, even just my Golden Goose, like a crisp white pair of Golden Goose, even those, to be honest, I think are pretty timeless. So I don't like fads or trends, or like Balenciaga, this, that. Like, I think those are cool if you have 10 pairs of shoes and you're just trying to be a little funky. Like, I have a few pieces of stuff in my wardrobe where, like, I have all my staples down, so those are just like when I'm trying to be a little more fun or eccentric, for example, with these work boots. But as a general rule, I think build your wardrobe with staples. And I'm thinking, what are some other, Axel Arigato have really good shoes as well, by the way. You can just get a clean pair of like gray suede Capto sneakers from them, or black Capto sneakers. Once again, those are super, super clean. You can wear them with anything. You can honestly even dress them down with a suit. But the step above Axel Arigato is Lanvin. So next question is, do your friends / inner circle know how much money you are making / do they care? They definitely know how much money they're making, more so my guy friends, because they're sort of into business and stuff like that. Do they care? Not really, because my close circle, if you look at all my friends, they literally were my friends when I was broke. When I was broke and I was like, I'm going to make it and I'm not going to uni and blah, blah, and they were supportive of me. Definitely thought I was a bit fucking crazy at times, but I don't blame them. But they were supportive for the most part. So no, I don't think they do care at all. And they're so, they're just, honestly, my close group of friends are so kind. And my friends are broken up into literally friends I've had for like 4 or 5 years, and they were there for me when I had nothing. That's one segment. The other segment is really successful people in my network who they're just as wealthy, if not wealthier than me. So it's like they don't need anything from me, if you know what I mean. And then the other group is newer people that I met, but to be honest, just kind of where I live in London and the social circles I blend in with. These are people whose parents are like worth tens of millions, hundreds of millions, billionaires. Like, they're already used to eating at Zuma, or they're already used to eating at Nobu as a regular lunch spot. They don't care. These people stopped flying commercial back in 2006. So my money literally is a joke to them compared to the sort of family money they have. So I'd say, funnily enough, I'm thinking of people I've actually let into my circle. There's only been one time where I've let someone into my circle who doesn't fall under one of those 3 categories. Someone who was there for me when I had absolutely fucking nothing, someone who's already uber successful, or someone who doesn't come from like one of these ridiculously wealthy families. And funnily enough, the only one time something like that ever happened was the only one time I've ever been properly bit in the ass and just taken advantage and fucked over, to be honest. So definitely learned my lesson there, but you lick your scars, you lick your wounds, and you move on. All right, ladies and gents, that wraps it up for today's Q&A. I appreciate every single one of you. Down below, you can find the winner for the Gadzhi giveaway. As always, all you have to do is just hit subscribe, turn on those post notifications, and most importantly, comment within the first 2 hours, and you'll be drawn in to win. So giveaway winner is down there, and all you have to do is comment, and you'll be drawn in for the next one. All right, thanks so much, guys.